Hey, thanks for joining us back here on G Living. I'm Tara McNamara, and today we're going international. Our featured raw chef, Vanessa Sherwood, is headed out from Chicago to Southeast Asia. She's bringing her raw food cookbook, and she's on the hunt for ingredients. So join Vanessa on her food safari in Vietnam.
This is Vanessa Sherwood from G Living. I'm one of the featured chefs, and recently I took an amazing trip to Vietnam, a sort of a food adventure, food safari. I was a little anxious as to what I would be eating on the trip, but I knew, if nothing else, I would be able to get plenty of rice and vegetables and fruit, being the tropical country that it is. I was mainly in the southern part, centered around Saigon, which is, of course, the capital. And I think during the whole trip it was about 100 degrees with 100% humidity. And I did not get used to the heat. It was a little overbearing. If it wasn't for that, I think I would have enjoyed myself a lot more. But the warm weather is certainly good for growing rice, and we saw many rice paddies. Of course, the typical scene when you think of Vietnam is all the rice paddies, and then, of course, the people with the conical hats. And actually, those hats are very, very important. They keep the sun from beating on your bare skin. So I quickly bought one. They cost $1, and I actually managed to bring it home. And they actually keep covered mostly to keep the sun off the bare skin, so it's a necessity. It also looks pretty good too. One of the highlights of my trip was visiting the Mekong Delta. It's this whole complex maze of rivers, they're all connected to the Mekong Delta. You can actually go to Cambodia on the Mekong Delta, but along the way there's all these little markets in little cities along the way, and then there's also these amazing floating markets. And the best way to describe it, it's like one big farmer's market on water. So just like a typical farmer's market in the United States, families will come from far and near with whatever they're selling. And usually the families, they travel by boat, but these boats is where they actually live. So they're houseboats, not very glamorous and not very big. And they're these old-fashioned style boats, motorboats, with the motor that they hold into the water, and that's how they're propelled around. And there's no bathroom on the boats, so the river is also used as a bathroom and for bathing. So just a reminder that I was actually in a third world country, but still something beautiful and amazing to see. I mean, you can get anything in these markets. The busiest times are from very early in the morning, from about 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., and you can get anything that you can imagine there. Not just fish, of course, all the fruits and vegetables that are grown in the area. It's so lush and tropical there. I was able to walk around in some of the orchards and just pick the fruit off the trees. I mean, I know maybe that sounds silly, but it's amazing to see jackfruit and durian growing from trees and all of this tropical fruit that I'd never even seen or heard of before. It's just amazing. And it's sold in abundance on these boats. Fish is also a very huge staple in Vietnam. They make the famous fish sauce, which is a very pungent tasting sauce that they use to flavor almost anything. It's made from fermented fish. So many fish farms, floating fish farms along the way. The Vietnamese are also known for eating some exotic animals. I guess it's in their culture. It's normal for them. It was a little shocking to me. I was in a restaurant and they had tanks of rice wine with animals, dead animals in it, preserved, of course, by the alcohol, but they were just floating in the tanks. And I asked, of course, why, and it was because it gives it flavor. So I didn't have any rice wine after I saw that. I had some before, and I don't even want to know what was in it. But all in all, it was an amazing experience, and I was able to eat at vegetarian restaurants basically the whole time I was there, especially in Saigon. And I've been inspired, so I will be developing some Vietnamese-style raw food dishes, and you can look for those recipes that will be posted on Green Chefs. Thank you, and this was Vanessa Sherwood from gliving.tv. You can also find me at www.somelikeItraw.net, and I'm in the Chicago area.